Good evening. It's a bright sunny day today. We're going to be working on a formula that I found from a gentleman on YouTube named the Rustic Gardener. Very, very smart man. And I want to give credit where credit's due. I'm going to put a link in the description down here to go to his site. Please follow him. He's a genius when it comes to gardening. But last year I had problems with some powdered mildew, also some soft-bodied chewing insects. And so I got this formula from him on how to do this, but we're gonna have to make this meet my needs. I have a greenhouse where I do hydroponics, and so we have to do this a little bit different than what you do in the garden, because I can't have anything go into my system that would disrupt it. Everything we're gonna be doing is organic. However, just because it's organic doesn't mean that the roots enjoy it in a water-based system. So for doing this and treating these pests and molds and mildews, we're gonna need a few items. One is we need a garden sprayer. A good 1 gallon garden sprayer works good. Unfortunately, I don't know why they got a 1.25 gallon sprayer. I don't know why they added the extra quarter on there, but we're gonna measure it out to 1 gallon. Next thing we need is some organic neem oil. We want to make sure that it's cold pressed. We don't want it to lose any of the nutrients that we need to. This is the main product that we use to fight the insects and the mold. The other thing that we're gonna need is some pure Castile soap. I use the Dr. Bronner's. All these I order off Amazon. Gary and his site, he sells some of these products on his site. I got this from Harbor Freight. But the reason we're going to use the soap is because with this being an oil, it breaks it down and helps it be water soluble. And the next thing we're going to need is some peppermint oil. And what this does, this keeps, anytime a plant gets damaged, these insects can sense it. So we'll have things like cucumber beetles, or squash beetles. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said cucumber. Squash beetles, they will come and just, you'll have infestation if they ever notice there's any damage to your plants. Well, this peppermint oil, it helps mask that scent, and that's what we're going to be using it for. So we're just going to put everything together. With the neem oil, it messes up the digestive system of these chewing insects, and it also changes the pH of the leaves on the plant. That makes it where it doesn't change the pH of the ground nutrients where you're using it, but just the leaves, and it keeps the powdered mildew or other types of mold spores and such from getting onto the plant. And then, like I said, the soap is just used to break our oils down to make it where we can put it in the garden sprayer. At one time I used the garden sprayer that's the little half gallon, it's a little handheld sprayer, and it works pretty good for if you're taking and spraying in a downward angle, but we need to be able to get up under the leaves, so that's where we're going to use the sprayer where we can get up under the leaves. So let's get this mixed up. Let me show you what measurements I used. Let me go ahead and just tell you, we're going to be using 1 tablespoon of the neem oil. And we're actually going to use 1 tablespoon of the Castile soap. This is organic soap. You're welcome to use Dawn. Dawn breaks down grease real well. But I just like to use organic materials, and this is not very harsh on my plants, so that's the reason I use the Castile soap. So we're going to also use 1 tablespoon of it, and then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of the peppermint oil. Now with the neem oil, like I said, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. If you see it's working, you're going to do some tests on your leaves and make sure it works fine. If it does, you can go up to 2 tablespoons, but I like to start out with 1, and then we can move up from there. But so it's going to be between 1 and 2 tablespoons. So let me get this opened up and we'll get it mixed up and show you the order in which I do it. All right, so like I said, I knew it would have a 1 gallon mark on there, so we want to just go ahead and fill our jug up with water, or to the 1 gallon point. Now the last thing we're going to want to do in this is to put the soap in it. If you were to wind up putting the soap in there any other time than last, it's going to foam up on you, and it kind of makes it a little bit harder to work with. We're almost at a gallon. All right, there we go. We got 1 gallon of water there. So I've got my tablespoon here, and what I'm gonna do, the neem oil, I've had it sitting outside letting it warm up because it congeals a little bit, and we don't want it to do that, so we want it to be warmed up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get me a tablespoon of it. As you can see, it's a brown liquid. See if I can get where you can, and we're just gonna take and just pour that right in there. And then next we want to get us a teaspoon right here, and we're going to put our peppermint in it. What's going to make this smell so good? So I get my peppermint oil. Let me stay here where you can see me. We'll get us a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of it. Pour it in there. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description where you can get all these off Amazon. And we'll get our tablespoon again. And we're going to put 1 tablespoon of the soap. I can already smell it, peppermint oil. God, it smells so good. All right, 1 tablespoon of soap. All right, we go. So now then we'll just screw a lid on there. You can see where the neem oil is already standing on top? Well, now me saying that we're going to use 1 tablespoon of the soap, that's not 100% accurate. That's what I found out. It usually works pretty good to me, but you want to make sure that after you shake this up that it breaks up, and if it doesn't, then you need to add a little more. So let's take this and kind of mix it up, stir it around a little bit, and make sure that it's going to separate. I'm gonna open it up and have a look in there and see if it's still standing, or it's separating pretty well. I'm gonna stir it up a little more, but there's still just a little bit standing on top. So I'm trying to not create too much foam. All right, let me look again. I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more soap. Not a whole lot more, but just we just want to break that oil up. It's a little bit harder to use an organic oil than what it is if you use Dawn. Dawn it's a good product to use to separate that oil, but my system is just so sensitive that I just don't want don't I like to just use organic soap. Have a look in here one more time. That looks like it's the trick right there. So I don't know exactly how much I use, but you can see that you just kind of use what works for your system. All right, well, let's pump this thing up, put it under some pressure, and then I'll show you what to do with it from there. Okay, friends, as you can see, right here is where I get real redneck on my solution here. Notice I put the ingredients on the canister itself, and I put what it's for. But one of the main reasons I want to do this is because I want this canister or sprayer to be used for nothing else other than this. I don't want to use a canister that had anything else mixed in it other than this. So that way I know exactly what this is, and it will only be used just for that. First of all, we're going to go to the hay bale garden, and I'm going to show you how we treat that, and then we'll go inside the greenhouse, and that's where I differ from the rustic gardener and how I do because of my system, and we'll show you how to do that. But let's go out here to the hay bale garden and get it treated. Well, all right, here we are at the hay bale garden. So I'm gonna go ahead and pump up my sprayer. Get it put under pressure. If you hadn't seen, I got a video on how I built this. It'll show you step-by-step instructions on how it's all built. But now I'm gonna make sure that I'm on a good mist, which I am, which is what I want to do this. Now, let me bring you over here and show you how we're gonna treat this. All right, so we'll start out right here with this spaghetti squash. So what we wanna do, and it looks like it's already getting some kind of something, it's probably from these mushrooms. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the mushrooms just a little bit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and wet our leaves. And this is the reason we want to use one of these pump sprayers other than that other kind, is I can take this and turn it upside down, and I can spray it up under here and hit the bottom side of my leaves. And that's what I'm gonna do it to my tomato plants. And now what you want to do before you come out here and spray your plants is you want to just do a test spray on, say, one leaf, and wait about 48 hours and come back and see if it's done any damage. Just for the purpose of this video, I just want to show you it's in the middle of the day. It's best not to do this in the middle of the day. Wait till early in the morning or in the afternoon to spray your plants, but I wanted to be able just to show you how that's done. And we'll go over here and spray a couple more items. Come over here to this squash plant, and we'll give it a good spray. Just get up underneath it. And now when we spray this, we want to spray it about once every 2 weeks. If you get powdery mildew, I don't have any to show you, but if you start getting it, keep a journal of when it came, and then you'll know you can start treating about 2 weeks before that, and that way you'll kind of know when you need to start spraying your plants. Get up in there and get that one sprayed. Don't use this on lettuce. You can use it on your other plants. See, right here I've got some cantaloupe. Spray it, and some cucumbers, some Brussels sprouts. So just gonna run down the line. It don't take that much to spray this and keep all the insects off of it. In this hay bale garden, now I'm not sure, so we're gonna do a little test experiment. I've been having problems with these mushrooms, and that's just a good way to let me know that my hay bales are very fertile. Or I don't say fertile, I don't know where that come from, that they're breaking down. The compost is working naturally inside of it. But I just kind of want to spray the mushrooms and see if it will get rid of them, because I don't really want the mushrooms eating up any of my nutrients. All right, well, let me spray the rest of these, and then we'll go inside the greenhouse and I'll show you what we're going to do in there. Okay, here we are in the greenhouse, and this right here is where Gary and I differs. This is one thing he can't show you on his channel, and it's only because he doesn't do hydroponics. He's a gardener. He uses dirt, and I don't blame him. He's got a good system. I would trust anything that he has. But with the hydroponics that I have, see, I've got these little gravels, and right below it is this water. This whole system has water in it, and whatever I spray on this that gets down in that goes directly into my system, and it hits the roots of everything I've got. And I just don't want to put any oils or soap or anything on the roots. What I want to do is I'm treating these leaves. Okay, let me show you this. This is one of the prime examples of why we're using this spray. You see these little spots coming up on that leaf? That's powdered mildew. It's already got up onto this leaf. This is a problem. This is one of the problems that you have in one of these systems, is the fact that it's so humid in here and it runs off water that this powdery mildew is it grows rampant in here. So before we spray, what I'm gonna do is I just got some little things. I'm just gonna come over here and I'm just gonna cut that leaf off. We just want to get that out of our system. We're gonna go ahead and cut that one off, get it out of here. And it looks like this leaf back here, yep, it's already got some on it. Go ahead and cut that off too. All right, so that looks like it. That one's got a little bit on it. Go ahead and cut it off. After all, we're in the business of growing zucchini and not leaves. So go ahead and thin that out a little bit. And but anyway, back to what we're gonna do here. Let me set this up. Since I trimmed that out, it'll be probably a little bit easier to see what I'm doing on this plant. So let's get some little towels, some little shop rags or something, and we just kind of want to cover this. Knocked the camera over. We kind of just want to cover this plant up a little bit, kind of give it a little bit extra protection. You gotta be real careful. These leaves are laying real low. And just like this, we're gonna move these towels in here. And get this plant covered up the best we can. Now then, that way when we spray it, when we get up under here, everything's gonna drip, and it'll drip on these rags and catch it instead of going into our system. So let me go ahead and wrap this other squash up, and then we'll go from there. And you can usually take one rag and actually kind of bend it around it. Let me open it up a little better. But we're just trying to keep this out of our system a little bit. There we go. Now then, I can back up and you can see what I do a little bit better. So we'll just get our spray and we're just gonna spray our leaves. While you see me out there just really going to town and just spraying everything, don't quite do it like that right here. Let me go ahead and put something over this one before I spray it. So I'm just going to kind of just spray that leaf and spray underneath it. Anyway, like I was saying, instead of me just going crazy wild with my spraying, I just kind of just spot spray these instead of just, because I'm trying to keep it out of that water as much as I can. Let me get another rag and put it over this bucket. So it takes a little bit more time in one of these systems because you have to protect everything. But do you see the difference in the size of this plant versus the ones that's outside, and I plant them at the same time? This is just a perfect system, and it works like that. So I'll spray it about once every 2 weeks. And so, as you see, I've got a lot in here that I've got to spray. And if you're interested in about this system and want to know more about it, that'd be a great time to subscribe and follow me. And you can go back and watch some of these videos I've got of how I do this. I would love to have you. Help me get some tractor money for sure if I had more subscribers. I'll get more comfortable in talking, and I'll be able to elaborate what I'm saying a little bit better as I grow and get better as a YouTuber. I'm just so country boy, and this is all new to me. So I'm doing my best, and I'll get better. Just follow me and watch me grow, and we'll grow together. But as always, I love you. God loves you. I hope you have a great day. Now I'm gonna get to spraying the rest of this.